Okay, so today we are with Franklin D. Roosevelt. Okay, so let's continue with the question number one. What kind of image did the leader try to show to the people?
So first of all, I wanted to give people hope and calm their worries. So I had a very important quote that I said that was, the only thing we need to fear is fear itself. Also, my main goal was to help Americans bring back the confidence in their country. When the Great Depression occurred, there was like a time between 1929 and 1939 that was like the greatest and the most severe depression that occurred in the modern history. There was a lot of unemployment, and it was like a completely collapse of the industrial system. So I wanted to give the Americans their belief that they can trust again in the government. And I wanted to fix the economy using the New Deal. There was a strategy that I tried to implement that was focused more on the local production and trying to boost the economy. I want to show them that US was a very powerful and a very big country that can contribute to the world. So I also gave materials and supplies. So I had an intervention and had a great role in World War II.
How did you use media to promote your image?
So firstly, the main tool that I used was the radio, because this way I could connect with American families without getting the press get in my way, because as we know, media could interfere and the press could interfere with my ideologies and with my policies, and they could make a division in the whole American families. So I also used fireside chats that were not friendly speeches, but friendly talks that helped understand families who didn't know very precise terms. So if they connect, if they heard these fireside chats, they would get to know more my policies and my ideas. And also, I made also an agreement with the press so they could talk about my illness. So if the American families and citizens know about my illness, people would see me as someone weak and someone that couldn't protect them and guide them. And if you didn't know, my illness was polio, so I had paralysis from my legs, and I needed to transport myself in a wheelchair. And I also worked with the press to encourage national unity during the World War II, and to make useful and make effective the New Deal.
So let's start with another question. Which characteristics of your personality helped you to get and stay in power?
So mainly, I think that showing confidence was very important for me to stay in power. So especially during the economic crisis, because if I showed confidence, people would try to believe me, and if people believe they could accomplish their goals, and the main goal was to get out of the depression that the whole world was going through. So also I was willing to try new ideas, and if something didn't work, we didn't keep using that idea. We tried to improve every single day and try new ideas, something that worked. And my government also tried to focus a lot on constant action, and not a strict or intuitive belief, but on constant action and constant progression. And I also tried to communicate in a warm, in a personal way, so people could feel identified with my ideas. And in that way, I could connect with American people.
How do you justify the centralization of power in your nation?
So first of all, my main idea was that the government took more power, but only for a short time, because the country was in a big trouble. So first the depression, and then the World War I. So with this, the goal was to help during these hard moments, and the main idea was in the New Deal we gave people different kind of supports, like bank holidays that were closing banks to fix problems, and organizing business to recover from the depression. And during the war, we needed more control to prepare the country and get supplies ready. But the power wasn't just mine; it was shared in Washington and between the government that could guide a single nation.
What was the most effective financial measure you employed during the war, and what economic consequences did it lead to?
But mainly the most effective ideas I was using the war bonds and increasing the national debt, and we spent more money than we had and borrowed from citizens and banks to pay for supplies during the war. So This helped us support other nations by giving them the materials they needed for the war, and the result was very positive because like it helped end the Great Depression, it created a lot of jobs, and it boosted factories and the industries.
Okay, so what kind of image did you try to show to your people?
So I try to show the image of how I consider myself a caudillo. That's basically the one selected by God who will lead up the people of Spain to fight against every problem we have, to excommunicate communism, and basically prepare my country to be a better place based with military thinking.
Question two, how did you use the media to promote your image?
So basically, I use all the media in Spain, including radio, propaganda, books, paintings, everything. I use it to show an image of me with my military clothes leading up Spain. So I wanted to promote my ideas, to promote discipline, to keep pushing our nation to a better place, and to have the tranquility to all the Spaniards that I'm the leader they need and I will achieve all what they want.
So, question number three, which characteristics of your personality help you to get and stay in the power?
So I think first of all my charismatic way of being that helped me to being engaged with people and that people support me. The other thing that helped me a lot, I think, it's my discipline because being in the military in the past and fighting in wars teach me that discipline is everything. The way you need to do the things without judgment, it's the way you need to do the things, and that's all. So this way of thinking, I think it's crucial to connect with the people, and it's a characteristic of my personality that helped me get to power and let me stay for a lot of years in the power of Spain.
How do you attempt to help justify the centralization of power in your nation?
So the centralization of power in Spain is crucial for the development of the country because being centralized helps to keep kicking out the ideas of communism, Marxism, and things that affect our culture because we need to stay as we are because the culture of Spain is perfect as it is and we don't need any external influences that can change it or modify it in any way.
So, what was the most effective financial measure you employed during the war? And what economical consequences did it lead to?
So the most important measure that I choose to use in war, the economical measure, was closing up all the economy and focusing on internal production. These two don't have any external things in our economy, and just by focusing in us, focusing in Spain, and this during the years caused that Spain basically got a little behind in technology, but we maintain our culture. That's more important than any new technology, and we basically stay with our traditions and by not letting any other economy threats enter to our country.
So we are here with.
Benedetto Mussolini.
We're going to ask him the first question. So, what kind of image did you try to show to your people?
Okay, so a really good image that I wanted to promote was my confidence, was like, for example, being a superhero to the Italian citizens because they were kind of unprotected. They were like passing really hard times because Italy was very low after wars. It was economically weak, politically divided. They really need someone to be trusted on because if they had another, I don't know, president in which they didn't have their confidence was going to be very bad. So I really promote my confidence. I really promote to be like, for example, very united with my Italian groups, with all Italy, because it was important to be with all Italian citizens.
So the next question is how did you use the media to promote your image?
Okay, so first of all, I use all type of media. I use radio, I use posters, I use everything. But what they have in common, all this propaganda, I use it as with like tools, such as with nationalism, with these ideas, nationalism, totalitarianism, and militarism, because it was like very important to promote, for example, all Italian people to know that Italy was going to be the best country in all Europe, that they really need Italy and a strong Italy, and also like supporting their army, supporting their own people, supporting their culture. So like promoting all these type of things was very important, and also with the totalitarianism to promote like a government in which they can trust on, in which there is going to be a person that is going to lead their country far beyond.
So the next question is, which characteristic of your personality helped you to get and stay in power?
Okay, I believe one of my strongest characteristics was my take of decisions. Because I didn't like start arguing or start like saying, I don't think it is going to be good or bad. No, I really have self-taking decision. I really knew what is going to be best, what is going to be wrong. So it was very important to be, for example, deeply strong in knowing which decision is going to be best, and I believe that was like my first common characteristic. Also many others, because I really take care of all my people. I really was very responsible with my charge. I was really honest with my government, with the all Italy, and by promoting all my characteristics helped me be in power, and it's amazing.
So the next question is, how do you attempt to justify the centralization of power in your nation?
Okay, so it's very important that by being, for example, a totalitarian country was amazing, because I really don't care about democracy. Democracy is really suppressive. It's like the worst thing in the world, because having Democrats and liberals, people arguing each other, debating each other, that is only a waste of time, like stupid things. So like only having one political party, one leader was very important, not only taking mind on others, also like the opposition. We don't need people talking about other things, and like one thing, not a good country. So like centralization, like this idea with totalitarianism was very important. For example, I decided to make Ethiopia with this case to help know all the world, United States, the League of Nations, that Italy was in power and that they didn't need the power of any country, because they really knew what there was going to be in their country. Okay, so I truly believe that an economic feature that was very important to my country, it also had consequences, but first of all, I'm going to talk about what was it, and it was the Centre de Rivoluzione, that is basically a corporate state. A corporate state, like in other words, means about, for example, a leader, only the leader, because my country was totalitarianism, with totalitarianism, and basically the leader divide all the jobs, all the groups of peoples between what their role in economy was. For example, depending their job in their industries, depending their job in other things. So it was very important doing this type of financial method, because it allowed my country to gain in economy, to have a lot of growth in economy, like being competitive with other countries in Europe and also in the world. So it was very important, this method. That was like the most important method. And also, I believe that it hasn't like many bad consequences, but I believe that like if there will be consequences, like for example, I believe they like many people will disagree about this idea because they don't believe that people need to get divided into their certain jobs groups, but and this like makes people like start like causing chaos. So it was like the most like a consequence part in the economy, but it was the negative one because in the positive it had a lot of growth, such economically, such socially, such it make Italy more international. So it was very very good. Okay, I believe that is all, and thank you all. Remember me, the best president, Benito Mussolini.
So the image that I wanted to promote to German people was that I was the embodiment of German will and collective rational soul. I was the only one who could save Germany and bring its greatness again, because since Germany went through a really bad time, a really bad economic depression due to the Treaty of Versailles, um, I was the only one who could bring Germany again to what it was, destroying the chains of what the treaty did. Also, the country was really bad because of Jewish people, because they were a threat to our nation. Well, apart from my many speeches, I decided to like utilize a more psychological way to promote my image, and I use films, especially films that transform mass release into really scary spectacles. I did this with the goal to establish me as embodiment of German will, demanding a total emotional and total obedience in my government. The press and film industry became the best way for me to install ideologies into people's mind. The goal also of this was to dehumanize Jewish people, and of course, it was like my basis to promote persecution and genocide, to tell people that killing Jewish people was the best thing that we could do for bringing Germany great again. I believe that what kept me in power and gain power, my main characteristic, I would say it was my determination, because and my ability to move German people with my words, because I have a clear vision of what I wanted for Germany, and I never doubt myself when I was doing it. I also understood very well the importance of propaganda and unity, so I demand a loyalty to all the people. It was like my power and my faith in Germany that allowed me to rise and remain in power. I think that power was centralized in me because I was the only one that had the will required to lead people to its destiny. As I was the highest law, it allowed me to ensure control to all the people necessary for national greatness. So my government exists just to serve race, so decentralization was crucial to purify German race. The power of the state was entirely identified and to eliminate racial enemies such as Jewish people that threat the purification of German race. So I used something called the method, which was a way to fund secretly the rearmament program by using fake companies that have like a permission notes that look like normal commercial transactions. The consequences of this was achieving full employment that it did, and also the military mobilization, which was really crucial during the war. But I also have like some inflation in the country, but it was hidden, so people didn't really understand what was happening, and it was really difficult for me to control because it was a secret. So it was really difficult for me to control everything that the inflation led to the country.